that truly describes my next guest. 6 years ago, she hosted a young Ukrainian orphan at her home. Her family formed a tight bond with him, and year after year, he'd return to visit. He even called her mom, and eventually they chose to adopt him. But just before he was set to fly to the U.S. to live here permanently, war broke out in Ukraine, and he was trapped. And so what did this mama do? Well, she did what any amazing mother would do, and she went to get him out. That makes her an incredibly rad mama. Please, everybody, welcome Brittany. So, Brittany, meet Melissa.
Hi, we met earlier backstage.
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't know what we're allowed to do.
We're allowed to do.
I'm a hugger, but I know that's...
I know.
We're
That's
allowed to.
hard. I am too. I know. Yes. And it's always awkward. You go in and you're like, I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah. This is an incredible story. It needs to be a movie. Yes. It sounds like a movie. But before we get to it, like, tell us about yourself.
So I'm from a small town in Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. It's between like Dallas and Waco is the best way to explain it because it's tiny.
All right.
Yay. But my husband and I have been married for almost 17 years. We both work at a school there in that town. He's a teacher and a coach, and I work with the life skills kiddos.
Yeah.
We have 3, now 4 kiddos. Andre, we met through the orphan hosting program. We hosted him when he was 10. His mother had passed away. Father didn't have rights, and he lived with a grandfather part-time and at the orphanage part-time. We hosted him for 4 years. The very first time we got him off the plane, I had these little flashcards all made because we didn't know if he'd speak English.
Yeah.
Like, are you happy? Are you sad? Do you need to eat? You need the bathroom?
Yeah.
And he gets off the plane and we're like, how are you? Look at him. Isn't he precious? He gets off the plane and we're like, how are you? And he's like, I'm fine. And so we're like, okay, well, I'll just throw those away.
Here go the flashcards.
Yeah, girl, my little laminating things.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah.
Oh my God, I love a good laminating process.
Real hard. Yeah, but anyhow.
So wait, and this wasn't a one-time visit though. He came several times.
No, yes. So we hosted for 4 years, and we were able to host twice a year. So for 8 times. He would come. Each time that he would come, we would obviously learn more about him and go closer and closer. Yeah. We became mom and dad. It was obviously just a weird dynamic, but we were mom and dad. Yeah, he loves to fish. We found that out. Loves to fish. Texas barbecue. Thank the Lord.
Who doesn't love that?
I mean, the ribs are his favorite. So Texas barbecue, Whataburger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yay.
Yes. So when did you decide to fully adopt?
Okay, so 2019, we were given the opportunity to adopt. His grandfather had passed away a couple years prior. Step-grandma took over his rights, and then she got to a place where she knew this wasn't going to be something she could do long-term.
Yeah.
So 2 years worth of the adoption process. We get final your mom and dad on January 31st, given a March 10th date to be able to go and get them because of some Ukrainian guidelines. But so March 10th is our date. February 24th is when the war broke out, and everything we thought was going to happen necessarily now is.
And what are the chances that timing is incredible? So this is one of the text exchanges Brittany and Andre sent to each other, and this is because this is what y'all to do. So Brittany wrote, "I love you so much, sweet boy, NLG." So what is NLG?
Yes. Okay, so that's one of my favorites. Never let go is what that stands for, and that text actually came from a moment of not hearing from him. In the middle of this. We had heard from him day in and day out. We wake up one morning and he's not writing back. And you immediately kind of go to the worst. We had read that 2 schools were bombed that day, and then he's not writing back. And so I carried my Kleenex box with me to my other son's baseball tournament, just in case. But hours later, he wrote back. You know, if he had been closer, I would have scolded him for taking that long to write his mama.
Yeah.
But he did write back, and so it was
I can't imagine as a parent.
How did you watch the news and not just fall apart? I'm like tearing up as you're like, because I used to call Cooper, I always call him my sweet. So, and never let go. I mean, here I go. How did you not?
And you're so far away, you feel helpless.
Yeah, how did you not lose your mind?
Oh,
and I know you had to be present for your kids who were home.
For sure. Yeah, we had 3 kiddos at home, and like I said, we worked. My husband's a coach. Prayer, big time. I mean, we had so many people rallying around in prayer. And as far as watching the news, I don't want to say it was comforting because it's excruciating, but
I don't think anyone says the news is comforting.
no. But it was to be able to see and kind of know where things were happening.
Yeah.
It kind of gave you the idea to know where to shift your prayers, you know. And so when you would see his city or things like that,
That
then,
is
yeah,
kind
that
of-
definitely
it's just-
complicated it.
I couldn't even. I could not even get my head around what you must have gone through, and your strength is staggering.
Oh well, it broke.
Well, it broke.
It broke. That morning I was talking about where we didn't hear from him. The first, bless my other son's heart, the first kid I see that morning, I'd walk to him and say, I need you to pray for your brother. And I just started crying. I'm going to keep it together today. But
Okay, yeah,
I
I'm not
just
going to cry
started
either. Everyone's good
crying.
here. Yeah.
And I just hugged him and I'm crying and then I'm getting my life together. And I said, you go play your baseball game and you catch the balls and I'll be there later.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hold it together, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
your heart's
can't.
torn. Yeah. So tell everybody what you ended up doing.
I flew to Warsaw.
Yeah.
God just made a way.
I know, but you flew to a place, like, I'm just saying, yeah, that's all scary.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I logged on the computer. I had no idea where I was going to stay or go. And because of all the people coming, I thought, goodness gracious, where am I going to stay?
But that's what a mama bear does.
Yes,
Yeah,
you just go. If I had
Yeah.
to stay in a tent, I would stay in a tent, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I flew over to
Wow.
Warsaw. A friend of a friend's mom had a connection just randomly. God made that way. And I was able to stay there in Poland with that friend. So, yeah.
So you made it to Poland. So how did you get Andrea? Like how, I mean, I think a lot of people still want to know how. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you get
Yeah.
him out of there? So on the backside, my husband was just scrolling through different social medias trying to find anybody that had gotten kids in or out of his city.
Yeah.
We came across a faith-based music organization called Music and World Cultures, and they actually, their mission is to get music into the children's hands, basically, in other countries to connect them to Christ. But in this season, they put that on hold and instead turned into an evacuation group that just was willing to go in and get these kids.
Wow.
So when that organization said, yes, we'll go get them, then we're met with this decision of, do you leave him in the shelter where he's safe, or do you put him on the street where there's shelling and there's bombs and there's whatnot?
But you're getting him out.
But we're getting him out. So, you know, they're telling us we need to know in about an hour because
Oh,
we got to get
well,
this
no
rolling.
pressure.
No pressure. 3 o'clock in the morning, my mind is right where it needs to be to make these decisions. But
Yeah.
anyhow, they made it to Kyiv eventually.
Yeah.
And then spent the night
That
there.
picture gave me hope, though. That gives me hope for humanity. You know what I'm saying? All those kids, like people going in there.
were going in.
Sacrificing themselves to get, that's so cool.
Going in for sure.
It's
yeah.
unbelievable that it's happening in the first place, but if something like that does happen, some kind of huge atrocity like that, the fact that we need to focus on these angels on earth
Yes,
that do that
those
kind
are
of
the
stuff.
people,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Did you? I mean, during that, when do I have to go in? Do I have to not go? Were you so also worried about your other your children who are at home, thinking, what if something happens to me?
For sure. Anytime you travel across the world, and then in a neighboring like a war country, I believe that God was going to take care of me, and He would take care of them. And yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
In a weird, strange way, it's
I
like
get
you've
like
got
that
to
even
for
if
the
I
one,
go
but not the other.
on tour. I don't know if you do that. If I'm ever away from my kid, I always do that. I'm like, oh God, should I do this? How important is this show?
Just
is
do
this
it.
the time I'm on the plane and something?
You call me in 10 years.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna be crying when my
When you're,
kids
laying,
leave. I know.
laying flat at the airport, sobbing, holding on to one of their ankles.
So wait, so how's
not
Andre doing
ready.
today?
He's doing good. He
That had to have been a lot for him, like emotionally, to take on.
And he, you know, prior to the war, he walked through a lot, right? A lot
Yeah.
of loss after loss. And then you are presented with the war, and in your escape, you're unable to tell the people you love by. I mean, we had this plan of his teachers, his friends at his orphanage, his grandmother that was still living. We were going to stop and say bye to her and, you know, do that whole thing. And you don't get that. You get your backpack and you get on a bus and you go through a war and you just try to stay alive. So it looks a lot different
That
than
should
what.
not be a day
It sh-
for anyone, let alone a child. Oh,
shouldn't be a
man.
day, no.
Well, despite everything Andre's been through, he wanted to speak on the show. He's on the line now from Texas, along with his daddy, Matt.
Look at him!
So what's up?
He's so cute. He gets it from his daddy.
Oh my God.
God, he's so cute.
So you're
cute?
so cute.
He's
So,
so cute.
Andre, you are so brave, and we're so thankful that you're safe. What would you like everyone to know? Because you've had quite a life, and you're still such a young man.
I would want just to say I'm just more proud of my people and my country, and I'm just thankful for our military people saving us and being brave.
Absolutely.
And Kelly, I want to say one thing. I just wanted to say I'm proud of Brittany as my wife. She is and always has been a light in darkness. You know, there's a lot of dark in our world, and I'm just proud to call her my wife. And anybody that's been around her, and probably the short time that y'all have known her, you can't deny this. And we love her, and we're proud of her.
Well, that's when I lost it. And we are truly inspired by Andriy, along with all the people of Ukraine, and that's why we are making a donation of $10,000 to Nova Ukraine. And that's not all. We know this family has a long road ahead, so we want to make sure they get some much-needed R&R and just a good time. Man, it feels like it's been a lot. You know, it's just a lot of hurdles, especially for you, Andriy. So Brittany, we are going to send you and your entire family on a 5-night trip to Amsterdam Manor in Aruba. You're going to experience boutique accommodations in a 2-bedroom suite, dine at their restaurant, Passions on the Beach, with spectacular sunsets, and relax on the world-famous Eagle Beach. Airfare is courtesy of the Aruba Tourism Authority. We just want y'all to have a good time. Like, I need you to know, like, Andriy, yes, life can be so difficult and hard, and you feel like, God, it's just pouring down on me. But there is light at the end of a tunnel, I promise you. We want you to have a good time. We're so happy for you, especially finding this beautiful family. It's a wonderful thing, family, and having people that love you and trust you and they got your back.